Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal, thank you very much. There was nothing to suggest in any way that they were overly tall or unusually short, and any suggestion that their heights impacted their walking speed was pure speculation. Furthermore, as Mr. and Mrs. Dursley would strongly assert, all their variables were very much under control. Writing a plan for an experiment is a piece of art. It's got a style, it's got conventions, just like writing a short story, writing an essay, a meme, an email to your teacher. And as scientists, we need to know and we need to learn what that style is. In this video, we're going to cover how to write an experimental report, and we're going to look at the style conventions and the factors that are most important as we follow through. In a normal experiment report, you would want a title, an aim, variables, a list of apparatus, a diagram, steps, results table, graph, and a conclusion. The whole thing is driven by the variables. They are front and center of every single part, as we'll see. So, I'm going to do an experiment on a fish. What variables does a fish have? There's the size of the fish. Oh no, hang on, that's a sloppy start. Size could mean so many things. So let me change it to the length of the fish. What else could there be? List as many as you can think of. Remember to pause and give yourself enough time. So hopefully you did pause. How many did you get? I got 37, but some of them don't seem important. If I focus on interesting ones, then I've got the length of the fish, the thickness of the fish, the height of the fish, the mass of the fish, the species of the fish, the color of the fish, the number of fins of the fish, the speed of the fish, the birthday of the fish, the age of the fish, the name of the fish, the temperature of the fish. I could go on, but I think I have the main ones. Notice how every time I said the something of the fish, a variable needs an adjective and a noun. Otherwise, it's not clear. Take that last one as an example. If I just said the temperature, it'd be unclear if I meant the temperature of the fish or the temperature of the water. Oh, I should add that one. The temperature of the water. Oh, and how about the density of the water? So many variables. I've got to stop somewhere. Anyway, so what's this experiment going to be about? So what we do, now we've got all those variables, we pick two variables from our list and we're going to move them over here. I'm going to move the length of the fish to the independent variable and the speed of the fish to the dependent variable. And now everything else becomes a controlled variable. It's a bit too many though, so I'm going to highlight 2 or 3. Species seems important, mass, and age. Now I've sorted that out, the experiment almost writes itself. Almost. Title: Fish speed. Aim: investigate how the independent variable affects the dependent variable. Variables: list them out. Steps: how to measure the independent variable, including the apparatus. how to change the independent variable, such as how many lengths we'll look at. Go for 7. How to measure the dependent variable, including the apparatus. Any precautions such as parallax error, number of repeats to do, things like that. And what to do with the results. So any formulas needed, and do a table and a graph. For the table, we're going to put the independent variable on the left with unit, and the dependent variable on the right with unit. The graph, independent variable on the x-axis with unit, dependent variable on the y-axis with unit. And the conclusion. As the independent variable increased, the dependent variable increased or decreased. And then maybe add some values from the graph and a bit more detail to flesh out your conclusion a little bit more. So in summary, the aim is about the independent and dependent variables. The steps are about the independent and dependent variables. The table is about the independent and dependent variables. The graph is about the independent and dependent variables, and the conclusion is about the independent and dependent variables. The whole thing is a beautiful story about an independent variable and a dependent variable, but no wizards.